because the last time we had like a big crash in the U.S., I made so much money.
If you don't recall what David's referring to, let me refresh your memory. September 29th, 2008.
Down 1.7% here, a loss of 37 points or so. Apple shares are just getting hammered this morning.
We're down by between 3 and 4.5% generally across these markets. Let's talk about the speed with which we are watching this market deteriorate. We're red everywhere, essentially, down by 4-5%.
We're down over 16%. Dow at the same time has fallen about 18%.
The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
What in the world is happening on Wall Street?
Two-year no yields went from 190 to 166 in the blink of an eye.
On the NASDAQ, everything and more has been completely wiped out.
It was the worst day on Wall Street since the crash of 1987.
Only for bargains.
So I understand recessions can be very difficult for our economy. Millions of Americans lose their jobs, can lose their homes. Your savings accounts get wiped out. Businesses go under. Very well aware of the repercussions of having a recession, but it's something to where it's a necessary evil, and you have to beg the question: why do so many people benefit when the economy is in such turmoil? In reality, there's just really one word to explain it, in my opinion. So basically, what I mean by that is that when recessions occur, all stocks go down. The good ones, the bad ones, and the in-betweens. So think of all the grade A stable stocks such as the Apples and the Microsofts and the GEs. Those stocks go down significantly, 20, 30, 40, 50% down from their actual value. And that's when companies just swoop in, and businesses and wealthy people swoop in. They buy these grade A stocks at these ridiculously low prices, and then they wait. And and then the longer that they fall, the longer they rise. So let's take a look at 3 specific tech stocks to show you guys exactly what occurs during a significant recession. So take a look at Apple. If you take a look all the way back to the chart period, Apple on this chart is at 316.73. It has gone up a ridiculous amount since the 2008 recession. Take a look at Google. Same thing. Go back to 2007. All right, it was at $350, $400, somewhere around the 400. Fast forward, look where it is now. And take a look at Microsoft. Kind of the same deal. All right, so we're looking at So what exactly happens during a recession?
There's a recession in the country.
Well,
What is that?
what happens is the economy contracts. Actually, technically, in order for us to be in a recession, we have to have 2 quarters of contracted GDP, which is the total purchasing amount that as a whole our entire economy is making. Expenditures, purchases, things of that nature. The GDP contracts 6 months. We're in a recession. Let's kind of go a little bit more into detail into some of the recession highlights. So in a recession, in a downturn specifically, what you have is a downtrend in the business cycle. It's one that characterizes the decline in the production and the employment amount, and that's basically one of the first steps. The next deal that you have is you have a lower direction in terms of housing prices. We haven't yet hit that mark yet in terms of being in a recession, so we're not technically classified as being in one now. We did hit one. Last month. We were technically in a 2-quarter period, but then it contracted and it retracted and came back, and so we got out of that. And then the third thing that you have is you have the limited geographically. They're saying that it can't be limited. In my experience, because all of the markets as a whole are connected together, it's extremely rare that we would be in a recession, but the entire global economy would not be. If you go back to 2002 and 2008, every single recession in that period was actually involved in a recessionary period. Now, one of the main differences between that and a depression is the significance of the downside. So in a depression, you have a prolonged period of contracted GDP. You have a prolonged period of significant unemployment. You have a prolonged period of even more significant layoffs and unemployment periods. And just significantly, the economy as a whole gets a lot worse. And that's when we really go back to a depression. If you go back to the Great Depression that we had that lasted approximately 5 years, we really want to avoid that. And that's one of the reasons that the government is putting in all of the stimulus package, because the whole world right now is locked down, and they really want to ensure that we don't hit a depressionary phase. Will we hit a recession? Probably, but we want to significantly avoid a depression at all costs. So that's what's really important. So how do you take advantage of a recession? That's the next question that we all want to ask ourselves.
The stock market is crashing.
Well, first thing is, if you can't control your emotions, you can't control your money. That is a very bold but very honest and very to the point statement filed by your man Warren Buffett. Emotions are everything in the stock market. If you can't control it, then you can just kind of pretty much forget about it and you lose a lot of money. So I've developed a 3-step process and how to actually make money. One, obviously, as I told you, I should say the pre-steps is the emotions, but the first step in the process is you got to be prepared. If you're not prepared in order to make when the stock market crashes or goes down, I should say, then you're not going to have the money and the resources and the cash in order to actually buy these stocks at discount prices. And so in order to do that, you need to be very financially responsible with your money throughout the months and the periods leading up to the potential recession. So that's really important. Taking a look also at your man Warren Buffett, he talks about transferring money from the impatient to the patient. That's what the stock market does. These people are very, very smart, complex algorithms, and just really smart institutions at taking your money if you're not patient. So that's why you make a lot more money when you take your time and you're not looking at it every day. All right, so the second step and the third step process, kind of goes back to the whole be patient thing. All right, so it's important to dollar cost average. Dollar cost averaging means that when you are looking to purchase these stocks, you do it at a tiered phase. When Apple, let's say, is down 10%, you buy some shares. When Apple is down 20%, you buy additional shares. When it's down 30 and 40 and so forth, you buy additional shares. You never, ever want to try to time the market. The market's smarter than you. It's been around a lot longer than you, and no one really ever knows the bottom, even the big institutions, because it's a fluid process. So you really want to make sure that your dollar cost averaging, that has made more millionaires over time than any other strategy when it comes to trading or investing. It's dollar cost averaging. So don't forget that. So very important deal is the third thing, and the third thing is don't panic. A major thing that people do a lot of the times, myself included, is constantly looking at the stock market on a daily basis or watching it constantly. You make some shares and you immediately want it to go back up, or you see that it's going down and you're afraid that it's going to go down forever, or you're doing anything that can cause you to watch the stock market on a daily basis. It's a huge no-no. It's something that a lot of wealthy people and well-to-do people and upper class don't do because they don't, quote, need the money. And so as a result of that, they're not watching the stock market on a daily basis. So you have to let your money work for you, and in order to do that, you buy the stocks and you walk away and see you in 6 months. So let's review the 3 steps to succeed in a recession again. First and foremost is have to control the emotions. That is a prerequisite to everything about stock trading. Whether you're day trading, swing trading, or investing, controlling the emotions. And how you control your emotions is, number one, is you don't trade with money that you are afraid to lose. It doesn't mean that you actually will lose it. It doesn't even mean that you have even a high probability of losing the money. But the psychological fear of losing the money is something that weighs on a lot of people. One of the things that a lot of people don't know is that when you are trading, or really anything, fear is 3 to 5 times stronger than the emotion of jubilation or happiness. And so the fear of losing something is much greater than the excitement of gaining something. And that plays a big factor in how people trade and how people invest and when they invest and how much they invest. So control the emotions. Make sure that when you put money in to the stock market, you have a controlled emotional state, if you will. Just period. Remove the emotions, put it in there, forget about it. All right. So you got to prepare. Preparing means A recession occurs every 8 to 10 years. If you are someone who just likes to splurge and spend money and not stop, and you don't save anything, well, then you're probably not the person that's going to be making money in a recession, because you're probably one of the people who are going to be probably struggling, right? Because you have no reserves. But if you are a person that works a 9-to-5 job and you save money and you're conservative and you still live life and have fun, but you're just not throwing away a single dollar, when a recession comes, you are going to be much more positioned to actually take advantage of this. So when the Apples, when the Microsofts and so forth, when those stocks are down 50% in a recession, when everyone else is freaking out and selling the stocks, you will be buying them up. And you will be sitting there comfortably, and you will wait, and then in about a year or so, you will be up 50% on your market, on the market share. So I mean, think about it, right? The average stock market, the average rate of return is about 11 to 12%, or 8 to 12%, depending on who you ask. Well, the average savings account gives you, what is it, 0.05%, I think, maybe. Right, so and then in a recession, you're talking about making 40-50% of your money. So imagine if you have $80,000-$90,000 saved up, you're like, man, I don't know what to do. Shoot, everything's down 50% right now. You know what? I'm just going to borrow these stocks, these dollar cost average. I've been buying it for the past 6 months, right? Put a little bit here, a little bit there, and then I walk away. You know, you still have your $10,000 saved up. You walk away, and then a year from now, you're like, wow, wait a second, my $80,000 went to 40. Now I got $120,000, and you literally got 50% profit. And again, guys, this applies for any amount of money. It's not just for having high rolls or tons of money. If you're just purchasing a couple of shares of whatever stock, fill in the blank, right, and you've saved that money in preparation for a recession or for a pullback in the market, then you're following the plan and you're following the goal. So just keep in mind that it doesn't matter how much money you have or how little. Being able to have money set aside so that you can take advantage when the stock market pulls back or in a recession, that's the name of the game. That's why people make a lot of money in the recessions, such as Dave Ramsey, who is a millionaire.
Because the last time we had like a big crash in the U.S., I made so much money.
Listen, guys, thank you so much if you got to the end of the video. As you can tell, actually, contrary to the expert graphics, I did actually put a lot of effort into the editing and whatnot of the video. So hopefully this was some valuable content. If you guys are new to the channel, just know that this is basically an educational channel, and this is a channel that I'm going to be producing videos on a weekly basis to kind of help you guys get up to speed on a lot of education with the finance things and what's going on in the news. So thanks for tuning in.